My boyfriend wrecked my car and thought I wouldn't find out.
He's just like, maybe I'll just use a little tape here, a little glue there. It's fine.
And he's like, those scratches were on it before. Throw away because this crap is embarrassing AF. I have been with my 32 female boyfriend, 35 male, for a little over 3 years. Every once in a while, I'll let him drive my car when he's low on gas or if he has a good parking spot and doesn't want to move, etc. By the way, this comes from Illustrated Pixie, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, a couple of weeks ago, I get a call from my insurance company letting me know they needed a statement about the accident. What? After a solid 45 minutes of adamantly proclaiming this lady was full of crap and that there was no accident, the insurance rep said, well, we have a report that boyfriend's name was in an accident in blah blah parking lot on this date, claiming he was driving his girlfriend's car. I call my boyfriend and he denies up and down that there was an accident. I explain the call I received and he replies with, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Apparently, he's been dodging calls for over a month and never told me any of this was going on. There was no damage to my car, so I have no reason to think anything had happened. Yesterday, I was trying to work out the details with the insurance company and get him to make a statement, but it was impossible. He stopped responding to my texts about the situation, so I called him. He cleared the call. I called again. He cleared it again. Then he texts me, I'm with my parents. Okay, but this is a serious situation and I need to speak with you about it. Can you please answer? I don't want to fight with you in front of my parents. This isn't a fight. I need details about the accident from you. He still won't take my call. So I send him kind of a crappy text, something along the lines of, you can't even show me the respect to take my call about something serious? This isn't even a real relationship to you. Silence. Finally, after 2 hours of radio silence and me being very, very upset, I call again. He answers and says, I don't have the energy to do this with you right now. I'm painting. I don't want to talk. I say, what about my feelings? What about me? He scoffs. What about you? And then he hangs up. I haven't heard from him since. I know he's waiting for me to break down and contact him, as that has historically been the case. And there is an update. Breakup.
I mean, if that's the reaction to and in his head, he's probably like, well, I mean, your car didn't even get hurt.
Yeah, but it's like, oh my God, someone else was involved who probably has damage to their car.
Yeah, and it's probably a little, let's be honest. If you get into a fender bender in a parking lot and you can't smooth talk your way out of dealing with that with just cash, what are we doing? What are we doing, man?
I don't keep cash on me.
You got Venmo? You got anything? You got any kind of way to transfer money to another person to say, hey, this isn't my car. This is my girlfriend's car. I'm not on her insurance. Let's do this with cash.
Yeah, I can't.
Everyone wins.
I can't imagine if there was no damage to OP's car, I can't imagine there was that much damage to the other car. Probably just a
surface scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that, it's just like, didn't even mention it. Ugh. Update. It is 12:15 p.m. my time and still not a word from this fool. He gives no craps. I'm done. And second update, he contacted me. The text I got was, we have the kind of love that was forged in adventure and sealed in the bedroom. What? No mention of the accident or the fight? How do I even respond to this? You don't respond to that text. There are some relevant comments. Stormy Llewellyn. He's 35? Seriously? Dump his butt. He got into an accident in your car, didn't tell you, denies it, acts like he forgot, and then won't speak to you about it. Wow. I can't express how fast I'd be out of that relationship. And Katie Nelson, 898, says, okay, but like the last message you sent her, we have the type of love that's forged in adventure and sealed in the bedroom, is a quote from the Netflix show Disenchantment. OP, it wasn't even an original lame weak line. Oh, heck no. That's so... OP's like, it wasn't even original? He stole that?
He copy-pasted.
And it still sucked. No Ordinary Rabbit says, is your name Gwen? John Honey 420 says, do you know the extent of the damage on the other car or a possible contact? Maybe directly speak to the owner of the other vehicle. And Opie says, from what my insurance says, the lady just wants her deductible paid out, $500 to get her bumper fixed. Dumb boyfriend says that it was barely a scratch, so that seems like a lot of money. I like the idea of talking to the chick directly. And top comments, blah blah Hannah says, are you absolutely positive that he isn't actually 3 children in a trench coat? Opie says, OMFG, I am crying laughing at this, and there is an update. Man, oh man. But yeah, I think this relationship is kind of over, unfortunately, if this is how he handles things like this.
Look, I'm sorry. Again, I'm circling. I've hammered this point a few times. If you're 35, you don't know how to negotiate out of a fender bender. Well, I don't know.
If you're
not ready for
35 and ignoring calls from the insurance company about an accident you got into in your girlfriend's car.
Right, and all of that stems from being unable to grease the palm of that person in the moment when you made the mistake. You say, hey, there's a scratch on your rear bumper.
This man just sounds like he avoids all sorts of conflict entirely.
I don't know. You gotta know how to talk.
Yeah.
You gotta know how to talk your way through a situation sometimes.
Yeah. Update. I was straight up blown away by the support, suggestion, and compassion I was shown by total strangers. So I know most of you said ghost him, but I just couldn't. While undoubtedly that is what he deserved, I needed to hear from his perspective why he thought any of this was okay, because before I could close the door. And honestly, I'm glad I did, because it solidified for me that this relationship was an excellent learning experience, that I had done my learning, and it was time to move the F on. His avoidance of the situation was explained by his thinking it wasn't that big of a deal. He said that he didn't understand why this lady was making such a big fuss about her bumper, and that I was unreasonably upset about it, and he didn't want to talk about it until I had calmed down. Oh, no, I kept it together until I got his side of the story. According to him, they were both backing out of their parking spots and smacked into each other. He was all the way out of his spot. She was halfway out of hers when bang. I literally dialed the phone and sat with him while he called the insurance rep and gave his statement. He was found at fault due to his being all the way out of the spot. I am not 100% sure what this means for me, my policy, or my pocket yet. As far as the relationship, done. When he came over to talk, I had all his things packed up. I tried to explain how hurt and disappointed I was about his actions and told him that I could no longer trust him because of how terribly he handled the situation. He said, I crap you not. Oh, please, you just set a fire and expected me to come to your rescue and put it out, and when I didn't, you threw a fit. I'm sorry, I just didn't have the energy to put out your fire. This is your goddamn fire set by your crappy actions and fueled by your avoidance. I burst into tears, handed him his bag, and said I needed him to leave. Now, I told him anything of mine left at his place he can throw away, or leave there until his next victim or mother comes and cleans it for him. Speaking of his mother, I did listen to you and crafted a very detailed email to her with him CC'd. I explained what happened and then asked her for his driver's license number and policy name and ID number just in case it's needed. Her response was, I'm very sorry that you're having to deal with this, but I don't see how this is our problem if it was your car. I feel like this whole family are a bunch of lizard people sent to Earth to make me question my reality. By the way, the reality of your situation is that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio and search it by OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left, but dang.
A family of reptilians.
Dang. I mean, moral of the story, be careful who you let drive your car.
Yeah, I mean,
make sure that they have some insurance. Honestly, like there's very, very, my parents are always saying don't let anyone drive your car because you're not insured.
You need to, if you know, like if you have a partner or you live with somebody, if you know someone's gonna be driving your car a lot, if you have a roommate, whatever, you can add them to your insurance. You can add drivers to your insurance.
Yeah, like make sure you do that, because honestly, even if he was a good guy and like took care of this, he'd still not be on the insurance. And there's so many instances where accidents happen by accident.
It's called CYA. This is what my mom taught me. What? It stands for cover your booty.
There's a little bit left. Anyway, single at 32 again. I am sad as F, but trying to focus on the plus side, as someone said, cutting a bunch of weight. Thanks again for all the love and laughs. And yes, once it is determined how much is this going to affect my rates and my pocket, I will be taking his cartoon quoting A to small claims court. I have already spoken to my attorney about it. Much love, Pixie. Relevant comment says, T3 Teden? I don't see how this is our problem if it was your car. Well, we found where he gets it from. And OP says, seriously, here's the thing. If it had been me in his car, you best believe his family would have expected me to pay for any damages. And they have stupid money. Yeah, people who have stupid money for a reason, because they're stingy with it.
You want to hear really quick a story time of the stupidest stupid money I've ever seen in my life? I grew up in St. Louis. The Bush family that owned Anheuser-Busch is from St. Louis. Low-key, their family's cursed, but that's a different story. There was a guy, one of the Bush children, had a finger monkey. Had a little,
like the baby,
had a little pygmy finger monkey that he would bring with him to parties.
That sounds illegal.
It probably was.
Oh my goodness!
But they had
that's crazy money.
Hundreds of millions, if not maybe billions of dollars.
Shocking.
So, and boy, oh boy, was he a sack of rocks up here.
Dude,
just
also
ding-dong.
Some of those rich people are stingy as heck. Anyway, that is the end of the story.